How's it going, folks? Stu here. I don't know why I was down there for this. I just thought I'd mix it up. Listen, if you're a fan of criminals and people called Emily and criminals called Emily, my guy, take a seat because I have got a film for you. Emily the Criminal is the first feature of director John Patton Ford, who also wrote it. We love a good writer-director combo. Good stuff. It's a film which had me incredibly excited for it, despite having seen nothing about it, for one reason and one reason only. And that reason might rhyme with Aubrey Plaza. I just love that woman. She stars in the film as the titular Emily, which I'm going to be straight up. This isn't a slight on the film at all, but I have to get it off my chest. Aubrey doesn't look like an Emily. So what do we do there? This one is a really lean little crime thriller about a woman called Emily who's a gig worker struggling to pay bills, struggling to earn enough money, that ends up getting sucked into the world of crime for those money reasons. And it is another one from the 90-minute film club from this year's London Film Festival. If I had party poppers, I'd be popping them because listen, we love a good 90-minute flick. And overall, this one is a pretty solid time. I wasn't completely blown away by anything that happened in this film, and it plays a lot of its beats relatively by the book, but it does have a few little things up its sleeve which make it a little bit more of a worthwhile experience. And the number one of those things is, it's Aubrey. It was always going to be Aubrey. Listen, I love Aubrey Plaza, and not least because she's so weird, and we love weird shit. But she is also a wonderful actress outside of that, and I think any film which gives her the chance to flex her acting muscles is worthwhile in my opinion. And this one feels a lot like one of those kind of more, I guess, straightforward, naturalistic performances from her, in the vein of something like Black Bear earlier in the other year. And I loved seeing that. It's nice to see her in a role like this, center stage in a film like this, just killing it. She's just insanely captivating, but she hasn't lost that sort of, I don't know, comedic edge. There's a definite feel to some of the scenes in this film that the kind of funny Aubrey's peeking her way through, and it comes through as this really interesting and captivating personality that creates a character that you root for and you care about right from the offset, that is believably getting sucked into this world of crime. It's one of those things which we've seen done time and time again. A person that doesn't have a lot of money ends up turning to crime to get a lot of money. There's always that point where they start turning to crime that as a viewer, you're either, I don't buy this, they're just doing it because we need a film, or makes sense that they'd do that. Like, I understand why that would be the option they would choose. And that's one of the things this film does successfully overall, with that performance to hand to help in its toolbox. But it's definitely a film which sets up the stakes and sets up the world of this film that this character's in really effectively. And that also means that there's some good, genuine, tense stuff in here. Like, a lot of the sequences of Emily doing the crime, they feel like they've got a good energy to them, and I think that's definitely Ford's strongest asset as a director here. He has a good sense of forward momentum and energy throughout this film. I think where he falters, I think for me at least, is in, I don't know, pushing things a little bit further outside the box there. And there are some really interesting threads that are dropped in this film, like little sprinkles of thematic meat throughout that I just kind of wish had been a little bit more at the forefront. The obvious one of those is, of course, this whole gig worker, gig economy kind of angle. I like the sort of moments in this film where it ends up touching on the reality of that gig worker lifestyle, the rights that they don't have versus other workers, and the frustration that that leads to, and the anger that that creates in people. That stuff's an interesting edge, and it's in the film. It just doesn't really use that as much as I would have liked to, especially because the rest of the film does just kind of end up going down quite a straightforward crime thriller route. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag for me in that sense, and a weird kind of balancing act in this film. I was occasionally frustrated that it wasn't doing more, and occasionally satisfied with the stuff that it was doing. The film is almost incredibly lucky that it has Aubrey Plaza in its lead, because I think if you didn't have that, this would have felt like an entirely forgettable film. And that's a shame really, for all the kind of merit that a lot of the technical aspects of the film have. But it means that ultimately, I'm not entirely sure I would want to come back to this one, and I'm not entirely sure that it's going to leave a hugely lasting impact on me, but I did have an enjoyable time with it. It is a decent, straightforward thriller, and I think it's absolutely worth checking out if A, you're a fan of straightforward crime thrillers, but B, and perhaps most importantly, if you're a fan of Aubrey Plaza, it's definitely worth checking out if you want to see, I don't know, just something a little bit more different from her, or rather more evidence that she is actually a fantastic actress. But what about you guys? Have you caught Emily the Criminal yet? Have you caught it at the festival, or have you seen it elsewhere? I believe it's out in the States now and has been for a while, so you've probably caught it if you're over there. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. We'll have a little chat. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see me talk about more shit, go ahead and click subscribe. Button's down there, but you already knew that, didn't you? A butt ton more films coming from the film festival, so make sure you're subscribed and not missing those when they do drop. I'll see you guys soon for some more thoughts on more films, but until next time, man, I'm in love with Aubrey Plaza. How do I solve this problem?